Ayo, what's crackin' with my rowdy bunch, the Chico Army? And if you want to feel all warm and snuggly with that crew, subscribe and drop the title of Viewer of the Tube. For the newbies, my name is Tyler, and this is the crypto channel that's as oddly satisfying as hot glass and water. Do it again, please? Nah, because it's time for Chico Crypto. So Reddit, Moons, and Bricks, the community tokens. Reddit has been trialing them on two subreddits, r cryptocurrency and r Fortnite VR. It's literally the talk of the town on r crypto, the daily discussion, moons, and more moons. 75% of all discussion is focused on those gosh darn community tokens, which makes sense as they have been moving up in price the past couple of days. But what about Bricks from the r Fortnite subreddit? That's a non-crypto subreddit. It's a gaming community. Are they feeling the token fever like the crypto subreddit? Well, Bricks, just like Moons, have been having a nice little pumpity pump over the past 2 days. So you would think that subreddit would be speaking about it, freaking out similar to the r crypto community, wouldn't you? Well, it's not at all. Front page, not a single post about it. And second page, nada. You gotta use the search function to find any discussion. Searching by Bricks and then sorting by new in that subreddit, we can find the most recent discussion. And there is some. I got a Bricks if you got coin posts, people asking what they are, how to convert, but this is the one that is important. Crypto traders, when they realize they can get free money by reposting spam on this sub and getting Bricks. And it's just a meme. It says it's free real estate, but the post below is what we are interested in. Someone says, to be fair. To be fair.
Well, to be fair.
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 To be fair, 4 cents a brick is insane. If I wanted to make some cash on the side from doing something I enjoy, I'd sell mine too. And then a guy replies that they are selling theirs. And the commenter says, where do you sell them, if you don't mind me asking? Of which another community member chimes in. Hey man, most people don't say it, so this doesn't blow up too much. But if you search enough, you will find the person. So what this means is that community, some who are in the crypto know-how, are trying to keep this a secret. They don't want a flood of people getting in on this subreddit farming action, as a select some have a stronghold over it, and it's making them good money. Although what those fools don't realize is you gotta have the newbies come for a real brick hype cycle, and eventually they will learn it's okay to have the floodgates open. So just from these subreddit tokens alone, opportunities await to those who understand what is coming and what is already here. So number one, by being a Reddit karma farmer, you can now accumulate these subreddit tokens and get paid by doing what people already do. Chat posting, meme lording, or just providing solid content. And the monetized portion of these tokens is where a major opportunity lies. And that's why everyone is trying to get in on the action of trading these tokens. Like one of the top upvoted posts on r crypto, 223. Trade Moons with Nano and Banana with no fees, no testnet ETH XDAI, and no complicated process. What? That sounds amazing, right? Clicking in, a simpler process than XDAI, but then scrolling down, the first post is a warning. It's centralized, friends. That's how it's done. Pure centralization. And that is absolutely stupid and so risky, I cannot believe the r crypto mods allowed this to be on the front page. The devs could pull some funky biznetch behind the scenes. At least with XDAI, you have semi-decentralization, where a majority of the 10 validator nodes would have to become corrupted instead of just a single entity. So please don't use this. If you need to or want to go go the full centralized route, wait for Moons and Bricks to launch on Kraken. They recently launched explainers for each with buy now buttons at the bottom. They don't work yet and you can't trade, but it seems Kraken is ready to list. So the real opportunity I see is after the marriage comes that sweet, sweet honeymoon. Honeymoon, what do I mean? Well, the first and still the most liquid place for trading moons is on HoneySwap, which is built on Ethereum's sister chain XDAI. Now, as we can see, over the past week, trading volume for moons on HoneySwap has been pretty stable, about 30K per day. The liquidity for this is nearly $70,000. So what I'm trying to get across right here is once trading volume goes nuts for moons again, the few people in the liquidity pools are going to make bank on trading fees. And it will happen again, yes again, as volume has already gone pretty nuts on HoneySwap during the launch hype wave, over 400K daily volume. And then with Bricks, the opportunity is even more ripe as the liquidity pool is much smaller, 7 times under 10 grand. But it isn't just the trading of and liquidity providing for Reddit's crypto tokens where I see opportunity, but providing liquidity on HoneySwap with other token pairs. So here's a prime example, and let me try this time to nail it all the way through so people understand. Let's trade $10 in DAI for stake on Uniswap and compare the fees with HoneySwap for 10x DAI, their scalable, stable currency. With them, you receive 0.7953 of a stake, HoneySwap. Let's go over to Uniswap. For $10 in DAI, the currently unscalable stable currency, you get 0.7731 of a stake. So even better rates on Honey. And just a couple weeks ago when I did the same thing, it was the opposite. Better rates on Uniswap. Now let's check out the fees, the most important part. As we can see, to get your transaction through in a reasonable time with Uniswap, it costs over $11, $11.10, aka more than the actual transaction. So using Uniswap for these type of trades, small ones, is completely unreasonable. Now how about HoneySwap? How much is fees? It's just 0.000166 of an XDAI. No, not an Ethereum. XDAI is the currency of that chain. So it's just over 1/100th of a penny. It's nothing. So it's way more cost efficient to buy stake on XDAI, and it's not even worth it for small trades on the Ethereum main chain. And that goes for pretty much all the tokens on the Uniswap exchange. If you're not putting in over $1,000 trade, is paying $11 each time really worth it? And with XDAI, through the Omni Bridge, over 50 different ERC20s have been bridged from the Ethereum mainnet to the XDAI chain, and more are getting added to the list every day. And any ERC20 can be added simply if the one you want to do isn't listed. So the big opportunity? Becoming an LP liquidity provider for something like Link on XDAI. As we can see, the pool is peanuts. But once people realize, hey, I can get it for cheaper over here, volume will begin to pick up. And if another run comes bubbling the fees on the Ethereum chain, it will literally explode the volume. You gotta think of liquidity providers like merchants. The XDAI LPs can and will be providing a cheaper option compared to the Ethereum ones. And eventually consumers and in the internet world, computers will catch on. And a bonus, just like Uniswap went the route of liquidity mining of Uni tokens for select pools, HoneySwap is doing the same. 2 days ago, they dropped this blog, Let the Honey Flow, and they have everything ready to go for the honey farming program. And 3 pools will kick it off with a total of 600 honey up for grabs. Now, the next opportunity I see has something to do with a thing I call NFTs, and that's the perfect segue into a short sponsored segment of this video, being supported by our friends over at Gods Unchained. And like always, the full details of our agreement can be found in the description. So if you're out of the know, Gods Unchained is the most popular card battle trading game in the space, and it's NFT powered, meaning players have true ownership over the cards they earn, and limited cards are truly limited, gaining value over time. Gods Unchained has just gone into Season 1, and they just launched the Trial of the Gods expansion set, which brings new cards, new champions, and new ways to play the game. Although in late 2019, they already had their Genesis season, with the Genesis packs and cards. Fortunately, you can still acquire these highly sought after cards through chests. These chests are ERC20 tokens you can redeem, which hold a total of 6 packs from the Genesis season, so you get a chance at opening and finding a valuable and rare Genesis card. Or you can hold the chests and wait for them to keep accumulating in value, trade them, or do whatever you want. They are available for purchase or trade on all the popular options: Uniswap, OpenSea, and Token Trove. Now, the game actually has a deep leveling and battling system that is polished and super fun, unlike other crypto and NFT based games in the space, which means this has mainstream potential, and that is partly due to the large names behind it. Former game director of Magic the Gathering Arena, Chris Clay, is leading the charge, and it has financing from the likes of Coinbase, Galaxy Digital, and Naspers, one of the largest tech investors in the world. And just like any Ethereum-based NFT game, Gods Unchained is looking towards the future, scaling the game and its assets, so the fees are reasonable. And if you didn't know, the company behind the game is Immutable, a future outlook game development studio. And just over the summer, Immutable announced Immutable X in partnership with none other than Starkware. And Immutable X is a non-custodial exchange capable of 200 million NFT transactions per day. This will power the gods to the next level, as scaling is an afterthought. So when is Immutable X launching? Well, the team kindly has their Trello dev board open to the public, and looky there, it's set to be done this quarter. So with Immutable X coming soon, even with the fees right now is the time to get the early cards and chests. So use my link right here or in the description. Support my channel and begin your own path from Demi to God. So NFTs, those are non-fungible tokens, something a bit different than an ERC20 token. ERC20 tokens are fully interchangeable because they are not unique. NFTs, majority ERC721, represent one unique asset, like a certificate of ownership for a painting or a rare and limited digital card. But with NFTs, the thing you need to understand is you gotta do the research and a different type to be good at capitalizing on these markets. Like asking questions: which NFT-based game is going to be around? Do they have a community being built? Do they have long-term potential? And that is just looking into the team building it. You gotta understand the assets. You gotta understand the rare ones, which means if it's a game, you gotta understand the game. So what about digital art? You guys know Rarible. It's one of my picks for this space. And going to activity of it on OpenSea, it's active with selling, buying, and auctioning of NFTs happening on a regular basis. But be warned, most of this will be worth absolutely nothing down the road. If that artist doesn't become popular, if that game doesn't become popular, you will be holding something you will never be able to get rid of. So, Tyler, how do you find the good artist? Where is the opportunity here? Well, Rarible is a great place for beginning artists to begin strides into the NFT world. But once you are known, you move to other places, like Super Rare. And they kindly have a nice ranking of artists over time. Total creators, how many sold, highest sale, average sale price, secondary market sales. So this is where you find the big timers that have been building a collection community of their own, as Super Rare has been out for some time. You need a collector community with art if you're going to ever have someone to buy your own. And the top sellers on Super Rare are the ones you just might want to look into if this is an opportunity you're thinking about seizing. Cheers. I'll see you next time.